Okay, I've been holding off on I'm uploading videos right now, and I don't want to go long. I didn't get the chance to read the paper yesterday. Now, I do buy the San Antonio as well as the Corpus. So this is yesterday's paper. Now, Corpus Port opposes rival facility. You know, I have not seen anything in the Corpus paper, but I read online the Color Times as well as every other local media outlet. The Port of Corpus Christi, I've done some videos saying that the Port of Corpus Christi is going to come under judgment because they freely use the name Body of Christ as a profiteering mechanism. And the Port of Corpus Christi had the goal to either take to court or sue another private business that was using the name Corpus Christi, dealing in this whole port area and all. And they basically said, you don't have the right to profit from the name Body of Christ because, in essence, it's our name. The Port of Corpus Christi challenged a former board member because he had a name for his business that also used Corpus Christi and port. But what this article said, this will be just on this, I won't do any of the other news. This article said there is a Swiss company that made application to sort of build offshore. Port of Corpus Christi has a potential to lose millions of dollars. And there's a Swiss company called Trafigura. Not Trafalgar, that's good. Trafigura. Okay. They put in an application to build offshore, sort of like a facility that would store and offload oil, which is the same thing that the Port of Corpus Christi wants to do right off of Port Aransas, meaning they have all the dredging, all the new bridge, and everything else is for them to then have a lot more potential capacity to store oil and unload it on big tankers. But this other company, from what I read, by all rights, they're all kind of doing this. They're all, now that there's a lot of oil, you know, they get kind of, Mr. Trump's in office, and so it's a boom. What the CEO of the Port of Corpus Christi, Sean Strawbridge, did, he now challenged the Swiss company for doing something that's legal, but it's competitor, if you will. And he challenged the application for the Swiss company by saying they were not fully honest in their applications. This has not, the Sean Strawbridge and the Port of Corpus Christi, they have no say in what any other private industry decides to build legally off of the coast waters. But what he brought up in his challenge was this company supposedly was fined because they violated a 2006 restriction on exporting or working with Iraq in the whole oil field thing. Okay, so I guess they were fined. They did something. But as you read it, Sean Strawbridge, he's throwing dirt. The CEO of the port is throwing dirt. And then he makes the comment, he said, well, we want to bring up the including omitting Trafigura's 2006 criminal conviction in connection with violating restrictions, meaning when they made this application, they omitted like their past criminal history. As far as I could tell from reading this, that had nothing to do with their application. This man's throwing dirt because they might lose their cash. And I had said all along that the whole restructuring of the bridge and the dredging and everything else is to line the pockets of the rich. And what the Port of Corpus Christi did, in my view, is a corrupt thing. They did it to challenge any loss of cash for them. Then he said, there's going to be more than enough for all of them. This is another person that commented on it and basically said, look, they're going to be building these things offshore, and all types of companies, they do a permit and all. But I found it interesting because what they wanted to do, the Port of Corpus Christi, is also challenging. There are environmentally activists out of Port Aransas and all, who there's a city thing or a citizens thing that is already in opposition to the Port of Corpus Christi's plans to build this big tanker facility right in an area where they think would be environmentally unsafe because of hurricanes. And I've discussed this issue before. That's the only reason I'm going to do it. But it seems as if the San Antonio paper was willing to expose something that when I read it, you could see. This man, shown the CEO, who claims, the port claims exclusive profiteering rights to the named body of Christ. They made another challenge, said any cash that comes in with the name of Christ, it's ours. What a disgrace. That, and I'll tell you, this is showing you, it says they're possibly going to lose millions and millions and millions of dollars if these other companies succeed. And as far as I could say, they didn't violate any laws applying, and this guy's throwing dirt. This Sean, what was his name? He's throwing dirt. He's saying they didn't bring up their criminal record, meaning in 2006 they had a violation in doing business with Iraq. What that shows me is all of this stuff that they're doing, the expansion, all of these things, the dredging and everything else. I said in the beginning, a few months ago, that port's going to come into judgment. It's coming into judgment because of the way they claimed exclusive profiteering rights to the named body of Christ when they challenged another group that wanted to say port, Corpus Christi. They said, we invested all our money. You're wasting money, because I believe you're going to have also problems down the road with how they restructured. We had a couple of deaths, highway accidents in the last few days, tragic things going on. Today I happened to drive I went sort of like out to Highway 37, took a little ride, I had the car. When I was coming back, there's a regular connection. You come back to the Crosstown Expressway. I'll tell you, I'm surprised there's not so many more deaths. Just the on and off ramps, and I know the city, and it was daylight, and I was in the car. Just the on and off ramps. They've changed everything because of the new bridge they're building for the exclusive reason of the port being a higher bridge and bigger. Ships can come in on and off. And I thought, the way I didn't almost crash, but I thought people coming in from out of town in the evening, you're going to have so many deaths, and we just had two. Just had a couple on one of those turns on 37, and they calculate that. They know that one of those turns, it's on Redbird Lane, going on Highway 37. And everybody that's ever looked, if you ever drive that, it's not constructed right. Let me tell you that. The way the turn goes, and so trucks and people die every year. Why don't they redo it? Because they calculate the loss of life, that there's certain acceptable limit of the loss of life that they put in their calculation. Everybody knows that over the next few years, as they have rerouted some of these roads for this new bridge for the sake of cash, for the sake of the port getting more cash, they know that there's going to be a higher incidence of deaths on the highway. And that's calculated in. And it's a disgrace. So this will be the expose on the port of Corpus Christi.